is VSiN Primetime with Tim Murray and Shaun King on VSiN, the sports betting network.
It's time to download Nevada's premier sports betting app, BetMGM Sports. BetMGM has all your favorite wagering options along with in-game betting, boosted odds specials, and much more. Download the BetMGM app today and stop by any MGM casino on the Strip with your state-issued ID to open an account and start placing sports bets from anywhere in Nevada. Whatever your sport, whatever your betting style, you're going to love BetMGM's state-of-the-art technology and fan-friendly specials every day of the week. Visit BetMGM for terms and conditions. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Nevada. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Well, this is an absolute treat. Alongside Shaun King, the former Super Bowl champion, we bring in a former world champion. That is Shawn Porter at Showtime Shawn P on Twitter. And check out his podcast and YouTube channel, The Porter Way. Shawn, how are you, man? Appreciate you stopping by.
You say it's a treat for me to be here, man. It's a treat listening to you just read that the way you just laid that down. I'd have been stuttering.
You know what, Shawn? It means a lot because this guy over here.
Let me just say, you caught him on a good day.
Oh, any opportunity. Really?
Yeah.
Any opportunity.
You caught him on a good. He's trying to impress company.
Oh, man, I'm impressed.
Any opportunity. I appreciate that.
Over the last year and 2 months we've been together, he has created some words. I guarantee you, he's put those letters together in a sequence that they were not intended to go in.
What I have to deal with, Shawn?
Let me be clear, because I'm making a big deal of something that probably people are like, so what? He just rests. That's very hard to do, because I pay attention. So it was like the cadence was on point, and then there was no stuttering this time around apparently. And then he hit the number at the end. I said, like when you nailed it, I was nailing it with you.
We gotta have you in studio more often.
Yeah, man, the confidence right now, man. Woo! Shawn brings me down. This Shawn brings me up.
And that's what I lack when somebody says, "Here, do this drop." I'm like, could you have given me this drop an hour ago so that I could memorize it, you know?
That's awesome.
Oh, man. Well, no, we're thrilled to have you in studio. I'm going to get to some football because you're a big football guy.
I am.
But in what, about a little over a week week from this Saturday, a big-time fight here in Las Vegas, I assume the finale of this trilogy.
Has to be. That's what the trilogy usually is.
That's what I would think.
So
we got Canelo and Golovkin, Triple G and Canelo going head-to-head yet again. And Triple G, a massive underdog in this spot, plus 375 at BetMGM. You look at the favorite, Canelo, minus $5. How do you look at this fight? It is, the first time was a draw. Second time, Canelo wins it. And I heard you talking before the show, you felt like the first one probably could have went Triple G.
Yeah.
The second one, you had Canelo. How do you think this third one plays out?
I think that the odds are fair.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Canelo has been on somewhat of a tear, even since their rematch fight. Even with losing to Bivol, I think anything beyond Bivol, he's unstoppable. And so I think on the other side of that, you just take a look at Triple G. He's been inactive. Has had these like really long spurts of in the ring, out of the ring. And so I think, and then obviously you take a look at his age. He's from the 2004 Olympic quad. You know what I mean? So now we're looking at, what is that? Like he's 8 quads, six quads or so.
18 years.
Yeah, beyond his quad. So I mean, I just think that the mileage is up for him, and I do think that he's gonna make it interesting for a while, Triple G, but ultimately, I think it's Canelo Alvarez who's going to just kind of overwhelm him. And that's something we didn't see in the first 2 fights. They were like toe-to-toe, which was like something like the fans won because they were just so toe-to-toe and back and forth. And I just don't think that Triple G is going to have enough to withstand everything that Canelo's going to bring.
As I look at it from a betting perspective, it's almost like I'm forced to believe that Canelo will eventually overwhelm an older GGG and stop him under the round prop is generally 10.5. Or laying $4.50, that's a heavy price, knowing that at some point, if it goes to the judges, they could be watching a completely different fight than everyone else. Can Canelo, or do you think Canelo at some point wears GG down to the point of stopping him in this fight?
Yeah, I think that if you're betting, you have to bet one or two ways. You bet that Canelo wins the fight, whether it's decision or knockout. But then if you're betting for Triple G, you're expecting to win, you're expecting to make money, you bet that Triple G is going to knock out Canelo because not very many fighters can get a decision over Canelo Alvarez. I mean, even take a look at Bivol. I think he
one scorecard.
Was it a split decision?
Yeah, the one scorecard had Canelo winning some kind of way.
How is it possible? I don't know. I'm not here to anything, but you use that, and then also take a look at the fact of what happened with Mayweather. That was probably the only other close fight outside of Lara that Canelo's been in. But even a judge gave him a scorecard went to Canelo against Mayweather, who is is probably the hardest fighter to hit in the history of the sport. So you just take a look at all of that. The trail leads you to saying if Triple G pulls it off, it has to be by knockout. And I'm assuming you probably won a lot of money.
Yes, because he's $375 just to win the fight by knockout. I'm sure it's probably plus 1,000 or more. I would assume.
Want to go half?
If you can get me a actual,
I said go half, not what?
No, if you can get me an actual real birth certificate for Gennady Golovkin, because I think he might be pulling an Ortiz. They're presenting one age and they're probably slightly older. 04 Olympic son.
I think he good. I think he good for it.
Okay.
I think he's rearing 38 or 39. If not, I don't think he's 40. I think he's 38.
He's 40.
Or 39.
He just turned 40.
He just turned 40. Yeah, that's real.
And that's what's on Wiki.
Yeah.
Alvarez.
My birthday's wrong on Wiki.
Is it really? There you go.
So I think you got
careful.
Yeah, you got something
everything
there.
on Wikipedia is not always true. Canelo is 32 years old. We're hanging out with Shawn Porter, former world champion. By the way, if you believe that it will be Triple G by knockout, 8-1.
Yeah. There you go.
So,
come on now.
Had another announcement while we're in boxing, because we want to get all the boxing out this first segment. Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Interested how a professional boxer views what has become an actual legitimate promotion. Like, it started as kind of like this phenomenon. Like, this is just like a sideshow exhibition.
Yeah.
When you actually peel back the onion a little bit, him and his brother actually really have been into combat sports for a while.
Yeah.
Just announced he's going to have a match against former UFC champion Anderson Silva.
Yep.
Interesting match in your opinion?
Be careful. If you are Jake Paul, be careful. I had an opportunity to be in a fighter meeting with Anderson Silva. I see his passion for combat sports, not just MMA or boxing, but in actuality, he actually really loves boxing. And on top of the fact, all the experience that he has, there's nothing Jake Paul's going to do that's going to get Anderson Silva rattled. Anderson Silva just naturally is very calm, has a very calm demeanor. And so I just think that you should be careful if you're Jake Paul. Do the best you can to make sure that this fight goes a substantial amount of rounds because Anderson Silva really is dangerous in this fight. I like Jake Paul and his brother and what they've done to the sport, for the sport. They brought a set of eyes outside of the avid boxing fan to the sport of boxing. Boxing has benefited from that because we have other big fights that are getting in the ring now, and people that wouldn't normally pay attention to them. Now let me tell you what someone's thinking. Was that good? And then you say, Jake Paul's okay. You were excited to see Jake Paul. Now you got it. Well, if he's okay, then what's going on over here? Right. Let me see what's going on and how good that really is, So I think they've been good for the sport, and I think that everybody should really try to back what they're doing a little more. Obviously, Anderson Silva isn't a boxer, so, just kind of take this one with a grain of salt. And then on top of the fact that I personally think that something crazy could happen in this fight, I think it makes it really interesting and should be fun to watch.
I'm excited to see it. I think this is the first time in Jake's career that he hadn't been a favorite.
Yeah, he's a slight underdog.
I think it opened with Anderson Silva,
Really?
minus $1.25 or 30.
Pretty close to a pick 'em, which hopefully, in the eyes.
I'm surprised to hear that.
So Anderson Silva, 47 years old.
Don't even matter.
There you go. There you go. Real quickly, Shawn, we only got a minute
left. We got
left.
a women's event.
I see
this
that.
Saturday.
I'll hit it the way you hit that.
Yeah,
so
we will hit the women's event. I know you guys really want to talk about, but curious your thoughts. Tyson Fury, does he fight again?
Tyson Fury fights again. I don't think
Usyk?
that it's going to be Usyk. I think that he's just one of those fighters that's beyond a guy like Usyk, who even though Usyk's got all the belts, Usyk doesn't really command a humongous crowd. You know what I mean? Yeah. When
one of the Paul brothers,
when Tyson Fury walks into the circa, people are who is that?
Start singing
when
Sweet Caroline,
and he can command the stage. So he wants a dance partner that can help him command the stage.
Anthony Joshua.
And he just doesn't get that from Alexander Usyk.
I think he wanted Anthony Joshua.
It's still a huge fight.
It would be huge. It would be massive for the folks across the pond. It's massive for this gentleman being in studio with us, Shawn Porter, the world champ. We'll talk a little more boxing. Got to get his thoughts on the NFL season starting tomorrow. Shawn, I don't know what he does every single day. Adios, Chicago. More to come on VSiN. It is prime time.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.